I now call on the next speaker, Lisa Chambers, to proceed. That doesn't interfere with your time, incidentally. Sorry, my apologies.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Minister, I am disappointed that the Minister for Culture, Heritage and Gaeltacht isn't here today, but I would appreciate if you would relay my thoughts to her on the budget after I've spoken today. As spokesperson on arts and heritage, I look forward to Budget 2018 with great anticipation for a new era for the arts. The arts community looked forward with real expectation to Budget 2018 also. It was to be fulfilment of promises made again and again in the most public and high-profile ways to put culture at the centre of government and of public life. It was to be a real beginning of a new era, not simply in terms of financial allocation, but in terms of a political prioritisation and, above all, a real respect for the arts and culture. At the heart of the issue, Minister, have you time to listen to this? It is actually very important for the arts. It's a huge portfolio with a lot of people dependent on it. At the heart of the issue of how this budget is being received by artists is not money, it's respect. In the recession, cuts came and artists bore them. Arts organisations may do it less, but got on with it regardless. Being an artist is not a job. It is not a career. It is a vocation. You do not give your life to making art for money. You make art for life. It is the innate drive that inspires every artist. In experiment, in failure and occasionally in success, astonishing works of art are made. Arts and culture are essential to living a full life, and so much to offer our communities and ultimately for a much better society. Arts and culture is essential to positive citizenship. It gives language to our thoughts we otherwise could not articulate. Here today in Dáil we are speaking of the economy. Behind this budget are volumes of reports and years of events. But can anyone think of a more profound or truer summary of the recession we went through than what led it, than Donald Ryan's great book, The Spinning Heart? In this, the decade of commemoration, has any history been written that equals or let alone surpasses Sean O'Casey's trilogy of great history plays? Where, except in art, in song, in fiction, in visual art, in music or in dance, can we really find the means to articulate great joy or awful grief? Art is essential to citizenship, but we cannot articulate what we really feel or think about it. It is essential for life. The expectation invested by artists in this budget was based on the belief that promises solemnly made that the government too shared that profound sense of vitality and potential for art and of culture more widely in our own life. The expectation was that a fractured, almost broken relationship would be repaired. The expectation was that the government had at least listened to and genuinely heard the real pain within the arts, not just in monetary cuts, but also in a sense of disrespect. The expectation was that bygones would be bygones. The expectation was that there would be a new beginning. The expectation was, not just in terms of money, but more importantly in terms of real feeling and a genuine respect that would at last hail a new and happy day. But it was not to be. The bare fact of the Budget 2018 is that the allocation has not matched the announcement. The deeper truth is that the artists feel yet again they've been used as a platform, a backdrop to enlarge a state that has little or no real feeling or respect for them at all. Once again, in the summer of 2014, to be exact, there was a sudden and unexpected promise of a national cultural policy. Years went by, but nothing appeared. The promise of a national cultural policy that was, in any event, taken over by the plan of Creative Ireland. This great public brand-making and festival of announcements, glossy documents and videos would be the vehicle and the means that would put culture at the centre of national life. Some were concerned that against an insidious use of the arts was a backdrop for political projects, that Creative Ireland had no clear or effective governance, that there was no transparency in how spending decisions were being made. The Minister will recall that I on many occasions asked in 2017 how arts organisations could access these funds, or what the application process was, or what the criteria was. There were none. There was only a political project, albeit one we held out hope, which we promised it would be an enlarged budget. So we waited, but we've been disappointed. The artists are dismayed. The Chair of the Arts Council spoke for all when she expressed her deep disappointment at the paltry increase to the Council, the main and the essential support for the arts in Ireland. Its grant in 2018 will go from 65 million to 68. It's standstill money. It's unrealised expectation. And the announcement of Creative Ireland remains just that, an announcement. It now lies as the national cultural policy in a field of unrealised expectation. Let me not use my own words, but let me quote instead the words of the National Campaign for the Arts. They said, "The National Campaign for the Arts today expressed deep disappointment at the minimal increase for the sector in Budget 2018. This is despite the Government greatly raising expectations last year through its high-level initiative Creative Ireland, whose stated aim is to raise the priority of arts, culture and creativity across Government, and the Taoiseach's campaign pledge to double investment in the sector." This is not a political comment. This is real reaction and it's genuine hurt. The National Campaign for the Arts went on to say that budget allocations to key organisations are modest, in particular the Arts Council, moving from 65 to 68, an uplift of just 5% compared to last year's increase of 8%, an equally disappointing percentage in terms compared to Culture Ireland, which had an increase from 3.5 to 4 million. The Irish Film Board from 16.5 to 18. These figures all fall far short of expectations. They are the bare facts. They don't convey the hurt and the disbelief of broken promises. The arts today remain on the sideline. They are not at the centre. There is a fundamental attitude of disrespect. It sees the arts as an occasional, useful platform, but has no fundamental regard or feeling at all. Those at the centre of Creative Ireland project are now at the centre of the Taoiseach's political communications project in government buildings. It's a seamless passage, but an apt one, if you'll indulge me, Chair, for attempting to undermine the independence of the national cultural institutions to promising a national cultural policy was a diversion to creating Creative Ireland as a cadet school for the biggest show in town, which is government buildings. There is a consistent train of thought. It is of an artist as an extra in a world that sees politics as show business, in which the ultimate political aspiration is to be star of your own movie. The multiple video clips of ministers performing as politicians over the last few days is a cartoon of politics. It's a caricature of what was promised to artists and the creative industries. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Deputy Leader Chambers.